My name is Raphael. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AuxMoney. AuxMoney is a peer-to-peer marketplace based in Germany. We're the market leader there, and we focus entirely on consumer loans. And over the next 5 minutes, what I would like to cover is just give you a brief introduction of what we do, how we do that. I know most of you are familiar with Lending Club and Prosper, so maybe I do a quick comparison as well towards their models. And I know there are a couple of institutional investors in the audience, so I'd like to also point out what our proposition is for retail, but also institutional investors. Here we go. This is AuxMoney's snapshot. We've been around since 2007, so therefore we have a track record that we can show, and it's been good. So if we look back, about cohorts, it has been a positive lender experience throughout. We're based in Düsseldorf, not in Berlin. There is technology companies in Düsseldorf as well. We are currently 55 employees. Currently, we're generating roughly $10 million per month, but we have a lot more potential. 20 million is what we could do just now, and we are with both feet on the brake in terms of marketing, so we could generate a lot more. And that's why we currently are keen also to open up to additional investors. We are backed by two of the leading VC firms, Union Square Ventures, Index Ventures. And what we really do, that's a little bit about the background. So what we do is consumer loans, secured, but also unsecured. Maturities between 1 and 5 years of the loans. So also short-term loans, 1 for 25,000, and it's an annuity loan. As I mentioned before, I'm going to put the investor perspective on. And as you can see, there has been, I think there is a slide on that, there has been positive performance over the past 6 years. Don't forget, this is Germany, German consumers. I think in particularly interesting because if you look back at historic data in terms of defaults over numbers of years, you will see that Germany has always been very resilient when there was an economic downturn. So I think a big discussion throughout this conference has been what happens if that will, if the economic downturn will happen again. And I think there's a particular appeal that Germany, as a very strong economic nation, will not be affected as such. And I actually do have a slide which does back that up. So if you can see, like just looking back roughly 10 years, you will see that in the US, this is credit card debt, had a big spike in terms of default, and Germany has been completely flat during the financial crisis. Going back to that slide, so how does our model work? It is very similar to what you're familiar with at Lending Club and Prosper. So the borrower makes an application, we underwrite that loan, we do exclude 80% of the borrowers, 20% make it on the marketplace, and those 20% we put into various score classes, so A, B, C, D, E, and then we assign an interest rate on these borrowers. There's no pooling, there's no protection fund or anything like that. It's direct exposure to loans, and we allow investors to make fractional loans, but also whole loans, which for institutional investors is particularly important. And as I mentioned, we are currently still accepting institutional money. I mentioned the gap that we currently see. We have demand from various parties, so I would expect that within the next couple of months we will fill the demand, and then it's these partners that we're going to work with going forward. That's just briefly our yield curve. So I mentioned the score classes, which you will find below, A, B, C, D, and E. So we will see that this is a very steep yield curve. This is net to the investor, so after costs and after expected losses. So this is just giving you a snapshot of the experience that we have. So we have what we call a lender cockpit, and on this lender cockpit you have various widgets which you can play around with. It allows you to search for loans that you like. There's an automated investment tool, what we call the portfolio builder. If you like to engage with borrowers, Q&As, and so on and so forth, and everything here, it shows you obviously also your performance throughout your loan book. Yeah, this is a snapshot of the portfolio builder that we have, so it allows you really to say, okay, that's a kind of risk I want. If you're more on the conservative side, you're more lean towards A and B grades. If you want a more diversified portfolio, you will include C and Ds, and the portfolio builder, if you choose so to take a hands-off approach, is the tool that will allow you to build a diversified portfolio in an automated way. And then we have some fancy stuff like, I mean, you can look at the German map and actually see where your borrowers are. I mean, you can go down in much detail. You can't see the house, but you can see in very detail what the German landscape looks like. I mean, if you have a portfolio of 1,000 loans, that's actually quite an interesting map to look at. We also have an app. So if you plan to invest, that's something I would definitely recommend on using. So if you're on the go and you have your preferred search, you can then very easily say, get an alert, okay, a new borrower came on the player, which meets exactly the kind of requirement that you want. You can invest over the app. You have a dashboard which shows you the returns that you're making. So all this is obviously for retail and a very, very much like tool from our investor community. So really to sum it up, so we are the leading platform in Europe's largest economy. Germany is a very, very stable market. We have a very, very strong risk management team, so high quality loan origination, and we have sizable volumes for every institutional investors that wants to get on the platform. So critical size is not an issue here. Yes, as I mentioned, the experience, I think it's pretty strong. All right. So if you want to, I mean, I'm going to be around, so if you want to reach out, feel free to come to me and talk to me. I'd be happy to. Otherwise, this is my email address, jonen@auxmoney.com, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.
Can we get one quick question, if anyone has one?
Pleasure. No, we're looking at other countries as well. I think as everybody platform, you build a great technology, great risk management systems, and it makes a lot of sense to leverage that and use that also in other countries. And that's what we do as well. Yeah.